Hello and welcome to my new YouTube channel. I will be going by Bear, at least for now, and this is the first video I will be making and releasing for this channel. I want to begin by saying that this is not an attack on Granger, churches like Granger, the people serving in them, or attending them. I will be negative and critical, but my intent is to hopefully encourage people to participate in and advocate for more traditional worship music. A little background on myself, so you can understand where I am coming from and why I thought to make this video, is that I actually attended Granger Community Church for a few years. I grew up in a smallish-sized, non-denominational church, about 150 people, where my mom was even part of the worship team. We started going to Granger as a family when I was about 12 or 13. At the time, the music and the energy of the service really excited me. It was not unlike the church I grew up in, but it was a magnitude larger, and with that came professional musicians, stage and audio technicians, and marketing. The church I came from had the same ideas about the church service as Granger, but not the capacity to carry them out to the same level. Contemporary Christianity was normal to me until the fall of 2022, when I started attending a small Reformed Baptist church while going to college. There are so many things that came as a surprise to me there that I might talk about in a video later, but chief among them was the music. Rather than the lights, lasers, and fog machines I had been used to, or the same style of music but toned down in a much smaller church, the music here was traditional. Week after week we sang 4-part harmony hymns from the hymnal and accompanied by a keyboard. We had neither the funds nor the physical space for a real piano, which was rather unfortunate. After becoming well acquainted with both traditional and contemporary Christian worship music, I have developed a strong preference for one over the other, and I intend on explaining why. The video I have here is not a special example, an outlier, or extreme. I went to the Granger Community Church YouTube page, link in the description, and watched the most recent service. Instead of pouring through to find examples of the worst things, in my opinion, they've ever done, I wanted to talk about what they normally put out. This is just an average video, and I want to show why, though their intentions may be all well and good, contemporary Christian worship has glaring faults in its stylistic foundation. I apologize for the long preamble. Let's get on to the actual video. This video from Granger is of a 1-hour service, but I will only be covering the combined 15 minutes of music. There are 3 things I want to point out in this first song: the length, lyrics, and loudness. You should notice that for the entire time I've been rambling on, the same song has been playing in the background. This song is Rattle by Elevation Worship. And spoiler, the song is 5 minutes and 15 seconds long. I can and will talk about Elevation, but not today. By itself, a song being long is not a problem, but every second of it should serve a purpose. The lyrics are pivotally important. Not even getting into the quality of the lyrics, there are 506 total words. After removing repeated phrases and interjections like whoa and yeah, there are only 144 words left. That is a 72% reduction. Why is this important? Because the congregation really only has one way to participate in the worship music, and that is by singing. When they are singing whoas and yas or repeating empty phrases, they are not proclaiming the goodness, power, mercy, love, justice, or glory of God. Now really quickly, I want to switch to the video being played. Here we get a healthy dose of the repetition I had mentioned. The same 6 words, live, dry, bones, hear, word, and Lord, are used 52 times in 36 seconds. Now, rather than the lyrics or length, I want to focus on the loudness. You just heard it for yourself. It got progressively louder as it continued, and this is no exception to their typical service. The last time I attended Granger was for what they called a worship night. I had not been in a long time, and I was not used to this kind of music anymore. The music was so loud that I could not even hear myself or the people around me. I had to leave the room because of that, and when I did, my ears were ringing quite badly. And now for the next song.
And when I was lost and all alone, your presence was where I found home. You were there and you're here right now. And in every high and every low, you never left me without hope. You are good and you're good right now.
The song playing now is I've Witnessed It by Passion. It may come as a surprise, but I really loved this song. I had not heard of it before, but I'll be adding this to my personal playlist immediately. I enjoyed this part, but I still have things to add. One of the most apparent differences between this kind of music and the kind we sing at that little Baptist church can be found in this clip. Go back, listen to it again, and pause just before the transition. If you did, you'll see the lead singer standing before a large audience. Now, I don't say this to imply the leaders at Granger want all the attention on themselves. I say this because, at least to me, it is a distraction. Now, this may be an artifact of the recording, but I can only hear the lead singer, not the congregation. This is one of my basic conjectures. Congregational worship should be congregational. It used to be that church buildings were engineered to enhance the sound of the congregation by using hard surfaces and geometry. Rather than amplify the sound of the congregation naturally, Granger has carpet, cushioned seats, and panels on the wall to absorb sound. They have massive speakers to amplify the voices of the lead singers, guitars, and drums. To me, Granger's sanctuary feels more like an event center than a church. Now really quickly, I want to switch to the chorus.
I witnessed your faithfulness. I've seen you bring life with it. So I pour out my praise again. You're worthy, God, you're worthy of all of it. Your promises never fail. I've got stories I live to tell. So I pour out my praise again. You're worthy, God, you're worthy of all of it.
This is a great chorus. It repeats two lines, but they are lines worth repeating. The bridge praises a specific attribute of God, adding, I've witnessed it, as a valid affirmation, not as a useless interjection.
You're good and I've witnessed it. You're strong and I've witnessed it. Oh, you're constant, I've witnessed it. And I'm confident I'll see it again and again. Oh, you love and I've witnessed it. You heal and I've witnessed it. Oh, you save and I've witnessed it. And I'm confident I'll see it again and again. You're good and I've witnessed it. Oh, you're strong and I've witnessed it. You're constant, I've witnessed it. And I'm confident I'll see it again and again. Oh, you love and I've witnessed it. You heal and I've witnessed it. You save and I've witnessed it. And I'm confident I'll see it again and again.
I've Witnessed It explores God's character, how it impacts us, and how we are to respond to it, namely by praise and evangelism. This song uses its identical runtime much more effectively. My only complaints lie with the style of performance, not the content of the music. The emphasis put on the stage diminishes the congregation's ability to sing and detracts from the worship of God. At the time of Granger's video, this song is less than 2 years old. The members at Granger may or may not have heard it before. Maybe this is a fault of my own, but in my own experience, it has not been uncommon for the service to include songs I had never heard before. which leads me to one of the weaknesses of contemporary worship music. But what exactly makes CCM different from a traditional hymn? I am by no means musically inclined, but The Bible is Art has an incredible video on the topic that I will link below. Music like this is just uncomfortable to sing if you have not heard it before, and because of our vocal range, it is especially difficult for men. This is a big part as to why I love hymnals. I can actually sing them, even if the song is completely new to me. My next topic is going to be about the movements and gestures of the performers and the crowd. These complaints may sound petty and unfounded, but hear me out. Earlier I said the focus put on the performers was a distraction. I mean two things by that. First is obvious. It takes my attention away from God and puts it on the performers. Second is more subtle but a grave error. I grew up in this setting. The whole time I believed worship was synonymous with happy feelings, loud music, jumping, clapping, hand gestures, and the like. I felt I was not worshiping God if I was not doing those things. When I was not moved to do so, I felt I didn't love God as much as everyone else. When I copied everyone around me, it left me empty inside. I wasn't worshiping God, I was imitating man. Eventually I came to reject this idea of worship. Now I find myself to be a man of occasional emotion. In church, I don't feel moved by dancing and shouting, but by reverence and peace. To express the difference in theology between contemporary and traditional music, I will point out a song that has been played by Granger in the past. Granger has a playlist of every song they have performed since December of 2017. 4 times in the span of a year, they played It Is Well by Bethel Music, of which there are these verses. Grander earth has quaked before, moved by the sound of his voice, and seas that are shaken and stirred can be calmed and broken for my regard. And, far be it from me to not believe, even when my eyes can't see, and this mountain that's in front of me will be thrown into the midst of the sea. Compare that to the long-standing hymn that this song butchered so grievously, It Is Well With My Soul by Horatio Spafford. When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. And, though Satan should buffet, though trials should come, let this blessed assurance control, that Christ has regarded my helpless estate, and hath shed his own blood for my soul. So what exactly is the difference between these two songs? For one, after going through the hardship of buying a new house, Christine DeMarco rewrote the classic hymn. In the song, she says that God is powerful, which is true, but that he will make life easier. Scripture does not promise this. At times, it says very much the opposite. Horatio Spafford wrote his original while on the Atlantic, passing through the point where a month before, his wife survived a shipwreck, but their 4 children had not. In this hymn, he rests on the grace of God for eternal salvation, not to make his life easier. Now, with about 2 minutes left in the video, I want to confess a few of my own faults in the area of worship music. As you can tell, I am highly opinionated. At times, I have caught myself having an unnecessarily negative attitude with regards to worship music. If I don't like it, it's wrong and bad. That has been my attitude at times, even though I try to be more charitable. Once I left the service at a young adult retreat because of the hyper-contemporary style. I was sulking outside like a petulant child until I realized how immature I was acting, and I went back in. Even though I am so critical of this kind of worship music, I think there is some amount of room for people to worship God in different ways. The rowdiest Pentecostal service might send me into an anaphylactic shock, but a Catholic Easter vigil might do the same to one of them. Death Was Arrested is not particularly interesting to me, so I want to talk about Granger in general for a bit. I find all the crowd working and stage effects to be irreverent. These are techniques made to elicit a response from the crowd at a rock concert. Granger does not seem to teach, do not be conformed to this world. Instead, Granger commonly includes secular music, like Metallica, Ozzy Osbourne, Demi Lovato, and Bob Marley in their services. Music from such a perverse source should have no place in the church, even if the themes fit the sermon. I have a lot to say on this topic, but that is all I would like to share for now. I want to reiterate, My criticisms and concerns with this kind of Christianity do not come out of malice. I was raised in this, and I fell victim to the fragility of the emotions that it depends on. I say all these things because I feel there is a better way, a way that does not mimic the world, a way that speaks to us at a deeper level, and a way that better honors God. Again, worship is a bigger subject than the music we sing. It is the chief end of man, and something I am aiming to understand better. If anyone disagrees with me, wants clarification, or has something to add, I would love to engage in discussion in the comments. I had a lot of fun making this video, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Recording, editing, and uploading a video was completely new to me. In the future, I hope to have better audio quality as well as video not ripped directly from someone else.